Are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one.
And we are back, and we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton, and of course it helps you because it helps us. Now, for the people, if y'all been rocking with me, y'all have seen that little bit that we just played between the governor of Maine, Janet Mills, and Donald Trump. You've seen that a few times because it's one of the quintessential back and forth so far in Trump's first 100 or so days as president again. Maine and the federal government locking horns over the issue of biological males in girls' sports. Now, Trump, as you saw in the coming up clip, he said, look, we are going to strip you of your funding if you don't get these biological males out of girls' sports. And the Maine governor, she's so adamant and so determined to have the biological males competing against her girls that she said, no, we're going to court about it. And for everybody who thinks that this is kind of an open and shut issue, who thinks that this should be something that maybe even is on the level of just common sense, well, y'all, I'm going to tell you, the fight may be more difficult than you may have thought. You see, this has gone to court, and I will say that it does not look like it turned out the way that Donald Trump and the administration wanted. Y'all, let's take a look.
As we know, Governor Mills told President Donald Trump that she would see him in court. She did, and now she has won. And as you said, she and Attorney General Fry say this is a win. They also say they had no choice but to file this lawsuit. During the less than 10-minute press conference, the governor and Attorney General said the withholding of school lunch program funding was unlawful. While this is a win for the state, there are still pending lawsuits, including the one filed just a few weeks ago by the United States Department of Justice against the Maine Department of Education for allegedly violating Title IX. Republicans in the legislature say there was an easy fix to this, to pass legislation that would change the law to align with President Trump's executive order. I've asked Governor Mills this question a few times now. Here's what she had to say today. This all comes down to Title IX, as you know, and there are a number of bills being proposed by Republicans in the legislature this session that have been scheduled for next week in the Judiciary Committee. I know you've called the transgender issue a worthy debate. If any of those bills cross your desks, would you sign them?
I'm not going to speculate as to any particular bills. I think there are probably 8 or 10 of them. Yeah.
So as you can see, the governor of Maine is not only claiming victory, but part of her whole thing was, look, she's going to apply the law. So this reporter said, well, you have the opportunity, you with the legislature, you can change the law or you can clarify the law to make sure that biological males are not competing against biological females. Would you be willing to do that? And as you can see, the governor of Maine, Janet Mills, would not even commit to that, y'all. So I think you know where she stands, right? So all of this, I would say, has created a certain amount of uncertainty, right? We're certain that times are uncertain. And y'all, I'm about to segue real quick into my partnership. I am so excited about this, my partnership with Augusta Precious Metals. Now, you may not know this, but did you know that if you have an IRA, you can actually invest part or all of it in gold, which is the oldest and, in my opinion, most secure money known to man. Now, I'm in gold. I'm in Bitcoin as well. I'm with the old. I'm with the new. If you want to know more about this, y'all, go to the link in the description and fill out the inquiry form. And my people at Augusta will get in touch with you and give you all the details on securing your IRA with gold. Now, Maine is so serious about this issue, y'all. And it's so interesting because Maine is one of the smaller, least populated states in the country. And it's taking on this huge role. This is the forefront of the battle over this issue. And one of their lawmakers stepped up to have her voice heard about this issue. But as you can see in this segment, it's not going very well for her. She's been censured and not even allowed to speak on the legislative floor until she apologizes, y'all. This is going all the way to the Supreme Court. Take a look.
Maine Representative Laurel Libby is asking for the highest court in America to step in so she can vote on the House floor. Her only alternative to the nation's highest court stepping in is formally apologizing for actions that threatened the well-being of a transgender high school athlete.
Representative Libby sued the Speaker of the House after she was censured this winter, and she posted about the transgender on Facebook, the teenager on Facebook. The post drew a lot of nasty comments and threats, to the point that police actually came to the school to make sure nothing bad happened. Well, the censure is an official rebuke by the legislature, and she is not allowed to vote or speak on the floor until she apologizes. The text of the censure bill explains that she is being punished for violating the legislative code of ethics, specifically that lawmakers are entrusted with the safety, security, and the health of all Mainers. She said that she was censured for, quote, speaking the truth. Although since her post, many lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have suggested that Maine's policy over transgender athletes warrants a discussion. They were not censured. Her appeal to the Supreme Court asks that her ability to vote and speak on the floor be restored while her lawsuit against Speaker Fecteau plays out in court. The Attorney General's office, which represents Fecteau, has declined to comment.
So, y'all, I think this was one of the main issues that factored into Trump winning the 2024 presidential election. If you remember, his campaign ran ads about this issue in particular, and I think the American people, just on a gut core level, understand that we have objective characteristics that we can quantify for the purposes of putting people in categories to compete, right? You have height, you have weight, you have sex, you have years of experience. What you don't use is how I feel inside, right? That's never been a criteria for scholastic sports. It's never been, how do you feel inside? So, and my prediction is that going forward, we'll figure out that it shouldn't be that. It should be some sort of observable characteristic. How tall are you? How much do you weigh? How many years experience do you have? That sort of thing. We'll come back around to it, but I want to know what y'all think. Let me know in the comments. Do you agree with me or do you agree with Maine? Okay. Which side are you on? Please comment down below, but before you do, please stop, hit the share button. Y'all have been so great sharing these videos out. I really appreciate it. Send it to somebody through Facebook, email, text message, WhatsApp, Instagram, Snapchat, all the social mediums. And of course, if you are not a subscriber, please do subscribe. Y'all, if you want to get in on gold, the hardest, most consistent money mankind has ever known. If you have an IRA in particular, or if you want to buy gold, like spot, like physical gold that you can hold in your hand like I do, don't forget to go down into the link below. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all, and we'll see you back in the next one.
But they have to come in legally. 2 weeks ago, I signed an executive order banning men from playing in women's sports. Many Democrats are fighting me on that. I hope you continue, because you'll never win another race. And it's just crazy. If you look at what happened with the boxing, if you look at what happened with the weightlifting numbers, where a record that hadn't been broken for 19 years got shattered. But, you know, they put up an eighth of an ounce here, an eighth of an ounce there, and it's 218 pounds or whatever was that. And hadn't been broken in 19 years. And then guy walks up who transitioned. He transitioned. And he knocked out that record by about 100 pounds. That will be a record not going to be broken again in a long. So we put a ban on it, and to protect women. I mean, the women, if you watch the Olympics, you had two transitioned people that were fighting in the women's boxing. They have women's boxing category. And if you saw that, it was brutal. What happened to the Italian woman was a really good boxer. After one punch, she said, no more. I've never been hit. It was a left. It was not even it was just a left jab. She got hit so hard, she said, I can't do it. They forced her to go out. No, go out again. You'll do it. Goes out again, gets hit again. No, that's it. She didn't want to die, and it's crazy, but the NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good, but I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
Well, we are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding. See you in court. Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor because I don't think you'll be in elected politics. Every state has a responsibility to comply with Title IX. They have an obligation, a legal obligation, and we'll be enforcing aggressively, and we're going to be protecting our citizens. We're going to protect. So just to end this.